We are at a 2-month high for zinc right now. We have our resident expert on zinc, that would be Brandon MacDonald with Fireweed Zinc, where he's CEO and director.
Yep.
Can you tell us what the recent bump is with base metals? Does it have to do with the fact that we've seen more attention with the gold prices up, or is there some fundamentals that are going on with zinc?
Yeah, I mean, look, as much as you can understand exactly what moves a complex market like that, I suspect it has to do with expectation of some sort of resolution on the trade, war with China. That's what took the zinc price off sharply last year, and I think in the short to medium term, that's what would bring it back.
Any type of long term at all and things like that? Do you think there's a base it's built under in terms of base metals right now? Or no
Yeah, I think in zinc specifically, I don't think we can see a lot lower than we are now. No, not unlikely to return to less than $1 a pound. There's a lot of projects out there, even projects that are critical to the current supply-demand balance, that just do not function at a price below that. So ones that are already struggling are going to be completely shaken out at that low price. Particularly considering right now you have a bit of shortage of smelter supply. So when you have a shortage of smelter supply and an oversupply of concentrate, we have really, really high treatment charges. So really, really high treatment charges combined with a low metal price really, really grinds the miners. So
what is the supply picture right now for zinc?
I would think overall right this year we're probably on balance, razor's edge kind of one way or another, which is why the pricing more than, in a year that there's a significant undersupply, you have more flexibility in your price. In a year that there is significant oversupply, you also have more flexibility in your price, but when it's on that edge, you got to be priced around the marginal producer, or else it's going to take off.
You have the project up in the Yukon, Fireweed Zinc. Can you tell us what the latest is?
Yeah, so this is a large zinc lead silver project in the eastern part of Yukon Territory. The latest was some exploration success last year, a bit of a rediscovery of a zone in the western part of the property. We had done a resource and a PEA around what existed in the eastern part of the property, but this boundary zone, kind of rediscovering it, what had been drilled by Kitco before, we re-drilled part of it and hit significantly better grades than they ever had. So now we're trying to wrap our head around what's the controls on this high-grade component of it, what is the extent of it, what is the thesis, scientifically that we use to explore for more like that.
You're out at all of the conferences. We're at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. We have a strong start to gold. Looks like financings are better. What's your mood? What's your outlook for 2020?
Well, what's interesting is at a conference in late 2019, I described the mood as nihilistic to cautious. And then suddenly 1 month later, a month and a half, I think it's extremely positive. As a bit of context, I gave a talk yesterday. Attendance was around 100. I gave that same talk, not the same talk, but talk in the same place last year in the Yukon Pavilion, and I think attendance was 12, 15 maybe. And that's encouraging. I think it's going to come to, this attention is going to be on precious metals first. That's where we're seeing the price action. But then I think 2021, 22 onwards is going to be really where the base metals start to shine.
I wanted to have you on, and I just wanted to talk about mining Twitter. Just as early last, you're probably one of the people that are out there most socially regarding that. It seems to have gathered more momentum. It seems like there's more discussion on there. Can you tell us what you feel about discussion on there?
Yeah, I think Twitter's become the new online discussion forum for mining news, and both the macro and the sort of specific stuff of drill results, etc. What I like is that you have a lot of people who are not anonymous, including myself, and who are varying degrees of experts in their fields who come in and comment. So it puts a break on the out of control mania, whether positive or negative, that you so often see in bulletin boards, where there's no one's going by their real name. Nobody has any idea what they're talking about, right? So it's like insanely bearish or insanely bullish, right? Whereas on Twitter, really good bunch of people growing there, really increasing their follower count. A lot of people paying attention. People like me who aren't afraid to speak their mind. I don't know if that that always serves me. When I had an investor come up to me at a recent show and say, "Oh, I follow you on Twitter," and I was like, "All right, where's this going?" Right? You're not going to, particularly when you go off mining and onto politics, you're not going to be on the same page as everyone, right? So, but I think that being genuine, showing people who you really are, and if you're backstopping that with facts and a willingness to listen, I think people respect it.
You're a younger person in the mining sector as well. Are we getting more interest into our sector, or is there people that are coming into it right now, or do we have to do a better job reaching out?
I think we can always do a better job, but I think the new mediums, that increasing engagement, the fact that we're seeing, the newsletter writers, the CEOs, the pundits, what have you, coming on to Twitter, etc. I think that makes a big difference, because that's where the discussions are, right? And I think that's where all the discussions around the bitcoins and the marijuana deals and stuff were. And if mining is not willing to catch up and be socially engaged, we're not going to engage people who that is their primary news source.
Thank you very much. I've been speaking with Brandon MacDonald, CEO of Fireweed Zinc, here at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference in Vancouver. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay.